Hello students, welcome in the second lecture of numerical techniques. In previous lecture, we see the topic Introduction to the Errors of chapter number 1st, Algebraic and Transcendental Equation. Okay, then in that we can see the concepts, that is, first one is the accuracy of numbers, in which we see exact number, then approximate numbers and their examples. Then we see the what is the significant digits, then rounding of the numbers, and for that we see the three important rules for rounding of the any approximate number up to nth significant digits or up to nth decimal places. Okay, so students, then next we see the what is mean by error. Error is nothing but the difference between true value minus approximate value. Then we see the types of error. Types of errors are, first one is the inherent error, then round of error, then third one is the truncation error, then next is the absolute error, relative error and percentage error. We see the formula for finding absolute error, relative error and percentage error, and then next we see their examples for finding relative error, percentage error and absolute error. Okay students, then now today we see what is meant by the algebraic equation and transcendental equation, and next we see to find the roots of algebraic equation and transcendental equation, in which we have to see the methods to finding the roots of equation f of x is equal to 0, where f of x be the algebraic equation, f of x is equal to 0 be the algebraic equation or a transcendental equation. So first we see what is meant by the algebraic equation. Algebraic equation. It is the equation is of the form a0 plus a1x plus up to an x raised to n is equal to 0, where this a0, a1 up to an, a0, comma a1 up to an are coefficients and they are constants, and here an must be not equal to 0. Here we consider, that is, which is the polynomial equation of degree n. Here higher order of x will be n, therefore it is the polynomial equation in x of degree n. In this form of equations are called the algebraic equation. We see the example: x square plus 2x plus 3 is equal to 0, or x square plus 3x cube plus 4 is equal to 0. In this type of equations are called the algebraic equation. Here degree of first polynomial equation is 2, and here degree of the second polynomial equation is the 3. If we consider the equation x plus y is equal to 3, then which is called the linear equation, because degree of this equation will be 1. Then in this type of equations are called the algebraic equation. Then okay students, then next we see what is meant by the transcendental equation. Second one is the transcendental equation. We see the definition: non-algebraic equations are called transcendental equation. non-algebraic equation are called the transcendental equation. For example, e raised to x plus 1 is equal to 0. First example, then we take second, that is log of x minus 1 is equal to 0. Or we take third equation, and third example is sin x plus cos x plus e raised to x is equal to minus 1. So students, if the equation contains e, log and sin cos, that is the trigonometric function, logarithmic function and exponential function, then that type of equations are called the transcendental equation. Okay, that algebraic equation, that is simply the polynomial equations, and transcendental equation, that is the if it contains log, trigonometric function and exponential function. Okay students, then in this chapter or in this topic we have to see to find the roots of that type of equation, that is either the given equation is the algebraic equation or the transcendental equation. So we see the location of roots. Next topic is the location of roots. Location of roots. Students, we know that if we consider the algebraic equation, that is polynomial equation a0 plus a1x plus up to an x raised to n is equal to 0, where an is not equal to 0. Here we consider the polynomial equation, that is algebraic equation is of degree n with higher order term coefficient will be must be not equal to 0. Then we know that if we consider the quadratic equation or cubic equation, then we know that how to find the roots of that equation. If the given equation is the quadratic equation, then we simply find the roots of that equation by taking the formula minus b plus minus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. Using that formula we can find the roots of quadratic equation, and if the equation is of higher third degree and higher degree, then we use the synthetic division to find the roots of that equation. Also we have to see that to find the roots of the equation by using the iterative methods, that is we have to find the approximate root of the given equation. Then we know that the roots of the equation are either real, distinct, repeated and complex. If we consider any equation, polynomial equation or the algebraic or the transcendental equation, then we have to get the roots of this equation are in the form of real or complex number. If in this the real roots are either distinct or repeated or complex. If the roots are complex, then we know that these are always occurs in pairs. So that is, suppose I is the root of given equation, then minus I is also the root of that equation. Or suppose 2 plus 3i is the root of equation, then 2 minus 3i is also the root of the given equation. Then we have to see the rules to location of roots. Then first rule is, if x1 is greater than x0 be the two real numbers with f of x0 and f of x1, that is value of the function at point x0 and value of the function at point x1, are of opposite sign, that is f of x0 into f of x1, is always less than 0. Here we see the first rule for location of roots. If x1 is greater than x0, where x1, x2 are the two real numbers with f of x0 and f of x1 be the values of the function at point x0 and x1 are of opposite sign. That means f of x0 either plus, f of x1 either minus, minus plus in this combination. Then if we take the product of these two values f of x0 and f of x1, then always we get that value will be less than 0. Then the root of then the root of equation f of x is equal to, then the root of equation f of x is equal to 0 lies between x0 and x1, that is root belongs to open interval x0 comma x1 and x1. Here the odd number of roots lies between x0 and x1. Then we see the next rule, that is if x1 is greater than x0 and f of x0 and f of x1 are of same sign, that is product of f of x0 and f of x1 is greater than 0, then there are even number of roots lie between x0 and x1, that is again x1 is greater than x0 and product of f of x0 and f of x1, that is values of the function at point x0 and x1 are of same sign, that is either both are positive or both are negative, and then if we take the product of that values, then we get always that product will be greater than 0, that is positive. Then there are even number of roots lies between x0 and x1, or there is no root lies between x0 and x1. Either even number of roots lie between x0 and x1, or there is no root lie between x0 and x1 if the product of that values of the function at point x0 and x1 is greater than 0. Okay. Then the third, we know that the complex roots always occurs in pairs, that is complex roots always occurs in 2, 4, 6, 8 up to in number, that is even number of forms. So if the degree of equation is odd, and the given equation has complex roots, then one root is always real. If the given equation has a complex roots, then one root is always a real root, and if the roots are real, then it may be distinct or repeated roots. Then fourth one is if f of x is equal to 0 is of even degree is of even degree and coefficient a0 is negative, that is constant term is the negative, then there is at least one positive root and one negative root. That is, if the equation f of x is equal to 0 is of even degree and a0, that is the constant term, is a negative, then there is at least one positive or one negative root of the given equation. These are all the rules for location of roots. That is, if we only observe the given equation f of x is equal to 0, that is either algebraic or transcendental equation, then from that we can easily say that where is the roots of that equation lie. That is, if we search 2 points and if we find the value of the function at that 2 points, if the product of that value will be greater than 0, then there is an even number of roots lie between x0 and x1, and if the product of the value of the function at point x0 and x1 is less than 0, then there is also a root lie between x0 and x1, and which is odd number of roots. Then next one is the, if the complex roots occurs for the given equation, then which is always occurs in pairs, that is in numbers 2, 4, 6, that is even numbers. And so if the degree of equation is the odd, that is odd degree equation, then, and if the root of that equation is a complex root, then one of the root is must be a real root. And last one is f of x is equal to 0 is of even degree and the a0, that is constant term, is the negative, is a a0 is a negative, then there is at least one positive root and one negative root. Methods to find roots of equation f of x is equal to 0. We know that the methods are, first one is the graphical method, then second one is the trial and error method, then next is the direct method, and fourth one is the iterative method. We know that these three methods, graphical method we see in 10th, 9th also, then trial and error method, that is we have to check the points or we have to check the real numbers for which the value of the function becomes 0, that are the roots of that given equation. Then next is the direct method and fourth one is the iterative method. In this chapter or in how to see the all are the iterative methods. In iterative methods there are two types of methods. First one is the interpolation and second one is the extrapolation. Interpolation and extrapolation. In interpolation we have to see the methods, that is Regula-Falsi method, then bisection method, and in extrapolation method we have to see the Newton's Raphson's method, then Gauss method for finding root of equation. In this chapter we have to see to find the root of equation f of x is equal to 0. First one is the interpolation method, that is Regula-Falsi method. In our syllabus bisection method is not involved. Therefore, we have to only see the regular-Falsy method. And for extrapolation method is the Newton-Raphson method. In the chapter, we have to see these two methods, regular-Falsy method and Newton-Raphson method. Then, okay. So students, first we see what is the regular-Falsy method for finding the roots of equation. Okay. Regular-Falsy method. We see regular-Falsy method, we see geometrically to find the root of equation. Here we use the first rule for location of, we know that first we have to search the 2 points x0 and x1, that is two real numbers x0 and x1. Then we have to find the value of the function at that point, that is f of x0 and f of x1. If their product, that is f of x0 into f of x1 is less than 0, then there is a odd number of root lie between x0 and x1. We use that rule to search first 2 points. Then in graphically, first suppose we take here xy plane, or here we take xy plane. Equation is f of x is equal to 0. For f of x is equal to 0, suppose we take x0 and x1 be the 2 points where f of x0 into f of x1 is less than 0. We consider 2 points x0 and x1 with f of x0 and f of x1 is less than 0, that is their product will be less than 0. Then by using rule we say that root of this equation belongs to open interval x0 comma x1. Suppose we take here these points are x0 and here will be the point x1, and we consider the point A will be x1 comma f of x1 and the point B will be x0 comma f of x0. Here if we consider, here we have to given the equation f of x is equal to 0, that is if we find or if we draw the graph of that equation f of x is equal to 0, then suppose we have to get the graph or the curve for that equation will be in this type, or this curve intersect x axis at point C. Here the curve f of x is equal to 0 which intersect x axis at point C. Therefore, C be the exact root of equation f of x is equal to 0. C be the exact root of f of x is equal to 0, because if we draw here the curve for the function f of x is equal to, for the equation for the function f of x, then the curve intersect at x axis at point C. Therefore, C be the exact root for the given equation. Then we have to find the approximate root. Therefore, if we join the points A and B, then we get the chord A and AB. Then we get chord A, B. If we join points A and B, then we get chord AB. This chord AB intersect x axis at this point. Suppose we name this point as will be the x2 point. Then the x2 point, we know by rule there is a root lie between this interval x0 to x1. In that interval there is a root of the equation f of x is equal to 0. If we draw directly curve of that function, then we get the intersection of that curve with x-axis will be c, and we know that which is the exact root of the given equation. But if we have to find the root by using iterative method, or we have to find the approximate root of that equation, for that we join the points A and B, then we get the chord AB, and that chord AB intersect with x-axis at point x2, then this x2 will be the approximate root, will be the next approximate root of equation f of x is equal to 0. Then again we have to searching that either given equation f of x is equal to 0 is of root lie between this interval x0 to x2 or x0 to x1. That is, in this way we can divide this interval x0 x1 to two subintervals x0 x2 and x2 x1. The next iterative root, for that we have to first search either the root of that equation lie between this interval, either this interval or this interval. Again we find the value of f of x0, or we find the product of f of x0 and f of x2. If the product of f of x0 and f of x2 is less than 0, then we say that the root lie between this interval, and if not, and if either the product of f of x2 and f of x3 is less than 0, then we say that the root lie between this interval x2 and x1. Then we have to construct formula for finding root, approximate root of the given equation. For that we find the 2-point form for these 2 points A and B. Then by 2-point form we get form 2-point form is and B is x minus x0 divided by x0 minus x1 is equal to y minus f of x0 divided by f of x0 minus f of x1. Here we put y is equal to 0, we get x minus x0 divided by x0 minus x1 is equal to minus f of x0 divided by f of x0 minus f of x1. Then we simplify this equation, we get x minus x0 is equal to minus f of x0 into, we shift this on this side, becomes multiplied, that is x0 minus x1 divided by f of x0 minus f of x1. Then we get x is equal to x0, this minus x0 becomes plus on this side, x0 and this minus sign, that is minus f of x0, x0 minus x1 divided by f of x0 minus f of x1, which is equal to, if we take here cross multiplication, we get x0 into this x0 in bracket f of x0 minus f of x1 minus, if we multiply this f of x0 into inside the bracket, we get minus x0 into f of x0, this minus minus becomes plus x1 into f of x0 divided by f of x0 minus f of x1. Then we simplify these brackets, we get x is equal to x0 into f of x0 minus x0 into f of x1 minus x0 into f of x0 plus x1 into f of x0 divided by f of x0 minus f of x1. Then here in numerator this plus x0 f of 0 minus x0 f of x0 gets cancelled. We get x is equal to, we write first x1 f of x0 minus x0 f of x1 divided by f of x0 minus f of x1. Or here we consider this x as with the next approximation, that is x2. Then this is the formula for finding the approximate root by using regular-Falsy method. If we have to, we know that the interval where the root is lie. Here f of x2 and f of x1, f of x2 and f of x1 is less than 0. If we have to get f of x2 and f of x1 is less than 0, then in this formula we replace, replace x0 by x2. If we replace x0 by x2, that is we replace this x0 by x2, then we get this interval x2 x1. For that we get the next approximation, that is we get the next approximation in this way. In this interval we get the next approximation. Suppose we consider it as x3. We have to find that rule by using the approximate root by using this formula. Here we have to only replace this x0 by x2, and if suppose the f of x2 and if f of x2 into f of x0, if we have to get f of x2 into f of x0 is less than 0, that is f of x2 and f of x0 are of opposite sign, that is we have to get this interval x2 and x0. In that we have to get the next root, approximate root. Then replace in this formula, replace x1 by, then replace this x1 by x2, then we get the next approximate root here, that is we get root here x3. And if we have to get f of x2 and f of x1 less than 0, then we have to get the next approximate in that interval x2 x1, which is x3. But here we observe that the curve y is equal to f of x will intersect the x-axis at point C, that is here will be the exact root of this equation. Therefore we have to must get the next approximation in this interval x2 and x1, that is we have to get this case f of x2 f of x1 less than 0. Then we replace this x0 by x2 in this formula and we get the next approximation, that is will be x3. In this way we can find the root of the equation by using this formula, that is we have to get the approximate root by using regular-Falsy method. For that first we have to only search 2 points where the root is lie. We have to find the values of a function at that point x0 and x1, that is initial points, that is f of x0 and f of x1. And if the value of this function are of opposite sign, then we get that interval in which the root is lie. This formula for these 2 points, then we get the next approximate root. And again for this point we find the value of the function f of x2 and then check that either f of x2 into f of x0 is less than 0 or f of x2 into f of x1 is less than 0. In that product is less than 0, in that interval the root is lie, then find the next approximate root. In this way we can find the approximate root by using this iterative method, regular-Falsy. Okay. Then here we write the general formula, or see the general formula for finding root of equation by regular-Falsy method. General formula is xn plus 1 is equal to xn minus 1 into f of xn minus xn into f of xn minus 1 divided by f of xn minus f of xn minus 1. We can learn this formula for the regular falsy method. Xn plus 1 is equal to xn minus 1 f of xn minus xn minus f of xn divided by f of xn minus f of xn minus 1. We have to ask question in exam for 1 marks to write the formula for the regular falsy method, then write this formula. Okay, then we see example on regular falsy method to find the root of the equation. We see the first example. Find a real root of equation x cube minus 9x plus 1 is equal to 0, laying between 2 and 4. Example number 1. And the real root of equation x cube minus 9x plus 1 is equal to 0 lies between 2 and 4. Here we have to given the 2 points 2 and 4. That is, we have to given the interval 2 to 4, this open interval in which we have to find the root of that equation by using the regular falsy method. So first we rewrite the given equation as f of x is equal to x cube minus 9x plus 1. Then we consider the points are x0 is equal to 2 and x1 is equal to 4. And then we find f of x0. f of x0 is equal to f of 2. That is, we have to put these 2 in this equation. We get 2 cube minus 9 into 2 plus 1. 2 cube is 8 minus 9 into 2 is 18 plus 1. 8 plus 1 is 9. 9 minus 18 will be minus 9. Then we find f of x1 is equal to f of 4 equal to 4 cube minus 9 into 4 plus 1 is equal to 4 cube is 64 minus 9 into 4 is 36 plus 1, 64 plus 1 is 65, 65 minus 36 will be equal to minus, we get f of x0 is minus 9, that is less than 0, and f of x1 will be 29, that is greater than 0. That is, we get f of x0, f of x1 are of opposite sign, that is f of x0 into f of x1 is less than 0. So root belongs to x0 comma x1, and if the root belongs to that interval, then by using regular falsy method, also we can say that method as the false position method. By using regular falsy method, we know the formula for regular falsy method. This formula we write equal to xn into xn minus 1 into f of xn minus xn into f of xn minus 1 divided by f of xn minus f of xn minus 1. We write the formula for next approximation here. Next approximation will be x2. Then for n is equal to 1, we get the next approximation will be 2. x2 is equal to n is equal to 1, that is x1, we get here x0 f of x1 minus x1 f of x0 divided by f of x1 minus f of x0. Then we put all these value here, we get the next approximate root. x2 is equal to x0 will be 2 into f of x1, that is 29, 2 into 29 minus x1 will be 4 into f of x0 will be minus 9 divided by again f of x1 minus f of x0, that is 29 minus 9. After this calculation we get the value will be 2.47388. We can use the calci for taking this calculation because scientific calculator is allowed for this course. Then we get in this, then we find the value of f of x2, that is f of 2.47388 is equal to 2.47388 bracket cube minus 9 into 2.47388 plus 1. Then by after calculation we get value minus 6.123. Here we get f of x2 will be minus 6.123, that is less than 0. F of x0 is negative, f of x2 is negative, that is are of same sign, and f of x1 is the positive, that is greater than 0, and here will be less than 0, that is are of opposite sign. Therefore next approximate root, therefore next, or we write here f of x2 into f of x1 is less than 0. Therefore next approximate root lies between next approximate root lies between interval x2 and x1. So students, we replace in this formula, take it as this formula as equation number 1, then replace in equation 1 x0 by x2, then we get the next approximation, that is x3 is equal to, we have to replace x0 by x2, then x2 f of x1 minus x1 f of x2 divided by f of x1 minus f of x2. Then we put here the values. x2 will be 2.47388, f of x1 will be 29 minus x1 will be 4, and f of x2 we find value here, this will be minus 6.123 divided by f of x1 is again 29 minus 6.123 is equal to, by taking this calculation we get value 2.7399 with the next approximate root, that is x3. In this way we can find the approximate root or the next approximations. Here we find the two approximation x2 and x3, and stop the procedure when mod of xn minus 1 is less than of xn minus 1 less than epsilon, where epsilon is a required accuracy. That is, we have to stop the procedure to finding the approximate roots if the difference between the two successive roots will be negligible. That is, the after decimal points we have to get the 4 decimal or 3 decimal places will be same, or 3 decimal or 4 decimal digits will be same. Then the stop the procedure. Okay. Thank you.